Now, the cinematic folder structure is a nifty little tool that I made. You will find an Editor Utility Widget here in its folder. And the way you use it, as is described right here, is you right-click on it and you run Editor Utility Widget. You will then get probably something like this for you. There's a little floating window that you can resize as you want. And as you saw, you can also dock it anywhere if you are so inclined. Excuse me, if you're so inclined. Let's just go through what we see here. First of all, the root folder, this is where your project will be made. I have set it so that in the content, even though it says game, this is content, it'll make a folder called cinematics, and then it'll make a new folder inside that folder called project 001. You can of course change this. If you don't want this, you can just have something and you'll just make a folder called something. This is all up to you. Here you have the scene prefixes. Now, in case you are not working the same way that I am, the way that I name and label these things is that I have a movie, and that movie is sectioned up into scenes, and each scene has multiple different shots inside them. This is the way I'm structuring it, at least. Again, if you don't, you probably can find a way to use this regardless, I'm sure. But the scene prefixes I've set to be _s, and the shots are _sh. Again, these are freely changeable, which is why they are here and revealed. And this is to show what scene you're currently working on, because this is working on a scene-by-scene basis. And this, again, is how I determine scene 1, because if I now say I want to make scene 2, and later realize that I needed something in between, I can, of course, just do like this, and it'll be in between. So no harm, no foul. Let's go back to scene 1. Here you can decide how many shots you want inside your scene. We can just go crazy and say we want 20, for instance. And here comes what I find to be the fun and useful part of this, actually, because this is, fairly trivial. But here you can include a camera cut track with a Cinecamera actor, and you can also add 4 additional subsequences inside every shot. This is, to me, the whole purpose of this, but you can see if I say coffee, pancakes, and waffles, for instance. Let's just do that, and we also have animation. If you leave these blank, you will get nothing, of course, but let me just show you all the bells and whistles while we can. And now I simply just press on Make Scene. You will see that it flickers for a very short moment. There we go. And now, if you go to content, you have a folder called something, which is what I wrote over here. Inside this, you have your scenes, and this is scene 1 that we just made. Inside scene 1, you of course have a level sequence. It is empty because, again, I didn't just want to spawn all of the sequences in there, because then you would have to manually tweak the length of it and whatnot. Maybe you don't even need all of your shots, so I left it blank. Do let me know if that is something you want me to change, and I can probably go ahead and do that. But here we have, again, the fun stuff. Inside shots, you now have those 20 shots that we specified, as you can see. Inside a shot, you will once again have a level sequence, but this time it is automatically populated by all of the subsequences that I made over here. So you can see we have camera. I made an underscore first so that camera always is at the top of the list. Otherwise it goes alphabetically, as you can see. But then we have animation, coffee, pancakes, and waffles. And you will notice that camera actually has 2 tracks inside it. You can either double click here, go inside of it and look, or you can go into the folder called subsequences and open it there. You will see that we do indeed have a camera cut track and a Cinecamera actor as well. This means that if I'm now working in this shot right here, I can press Shift and C to see through the camera. I don't even have to be inside here and clicking the buttons and whatnot. I can be wherever I want, Shift C as a shortcut to look through the Cinecamera actor. Of course, if you want to replace or place where the camera should be, you need to be in this one so you can actually move it around. Let me see if I can find my way around here, like so, for instance. Let's see, we want to see it from here. Now we can go out of the camera again. And I now look at this with my viewport. Shift C, you can look through the camera. And since it's this option right here, I can't move the camera. It's locked, which is magnificent. So you don't move it by accident. Shift-C, and you are back again to the way things were. Now, the way that I have made this is with a few limitations. I will now show you the actual blueprint in case there are some things that I have included that you find redundant or not needed, and I will now go over how you can bypass those things. Oh, first things first, if you look inside each of these folders, I do also include a folder in here. It's empty. I just, sometimes I like to have what I call the local changes. So for instance, if a shot requires a tree to be hidden in this specific shot, I can add a tree here and then hide it, for instance. This is what that's meant for. But anyway, let's go back to this one here. And instead of right-clicking and doing this, we simply double-click on it. Here we are. This is the designer, as you can see over here, where you can choose and change how it looks in case you want to do that. And over here, you can see the graph. Now, this is a bit of a beast and it's probably not optimized, I'm sure, but this is the way that I managed to make it work at least. So right now, for instance, the path, you can see right here, it says down here in the bottom, you can also just click on, I think, class defaults, and you get the same view of everything actually. So this might actually be nicer. But this path thing, this is the default one. So every time you close down this widget and open it up again, it will use that path instead of whatever you typed the first time. In order for me to actually make your decision stick, I would actually have to include a save game system inside of all of this, which seems very complicated and redundant. So I'm just going to show you how to do it this way, in case you are so inclined. As you probably might expect, if I know that my project is called Pastel, for instance, I can simply rename it here, compile it, and save it. And now this is the default. You will notice though that if you go back, it will still say something else up here because this is just placeholder text, and it does actually take from whatever is in here, just so you know. So on to the things that you may or may not want. Down here, just to give you a bit of an overview, the top part here is the camera cut track with the Cinecamera actor inside it. In case you don't want to have the camera, you can simply bypass all of this by doing that, and you don't get the camera at all, like so, going back to the way things were. And down here, we have the loop for adding all of the subsequences. This right here, I have tried to name everything, so it's easy enough to figure out what they do. This sets the different colors for the tracks. So you can see if I go to this right here, all of them have these very vivid colors. And I kind of like that because it makes it more visual what's going on. In case you don't like that and just want them all to be red, you can bypass this by not having this one included. The set color tint, you can just delete it and route this over top like so, and everything will still work perfectly fine. Next to this, you will see the length of the sequence. Right now, if I go back here, all of these are exactly 100 frames long. I have to set some kind of length, otherwise they just don't show up for some reason. So I just chose to set something. You can of course choose a different standard if that's what you want. But again, for me at least, it varies quite a lot how long I want a sequence to be. So I just, gave it some kind of value. You can change it here if you want to. And here you can see that I'm adding the empty folder inside each of the subsequences that I have chosen to call local changes. If you want to call something else, you can do that here. If you want to bypass it completely, you can do that here too. Hopefully this all makes intuitive sense. If you have any questions about this, you are of course more than welcome to add them in the comments, and I will get to them whenever I can. But I think that will be it. I also have these things right here. You can see the package path going into the path here. This is the names of all the folders and whatnot. You can choose these or change these to your own preferences as well. Same for up here. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mess, but it works. And for me, at least, it works exactly the way that I want it to, that I get all of these things done automatically for every single shot. And now if I go back, for instance, and say, oh, I have it over here, my bad. And say, now that I'm happy with scene 1, let's proceed to scene 2, for instance. And let's just say I only want 3 shots in here. I would like the camera, I would like only animation this time, and then make scene, I would probably get a random new created thing. Yeah, there you go. It makes cinematics, and in there I made pastel because I changed it in the path, like you saw me do earlier. But now you can see I have scenes, scene 2, and again, you can always just say scene 3 as well, add this, boom. It will, if the path is the same, it will simply just fill this up with scenes as well, and they will all have all of the goodies that you want. So this, for me, again, is immensely useful because I find it so tedious to have to make all of these shots for every cinematic that I make. This makes you do it in a few clicks, and it's customizable, so that's great. You can, of course, find this on Fab if you didn't already come from there. I would appreciate you checking it out. It will be on sale as often as I can, but, you know, there's limitations to that sort of thing. But yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will get to them as soon as I can.